this one video that I'm gonna make right now. I posted it on my timeline. I did not save it on my phone. At least I don't think I did. Hold on. I'm pretty sure I didn't. But I've reset this phone so many times. There's no way it can still be there. Um, there was a nurse who wasn't really a nurse. And that's one I might want to go back and check there. Let's see. So there was this nurse. She was a black lady. I cannot pronounce her name. I don't exactly remember the location. But I noticed she was not a real nurse. It's on my timeline at Facebook. And the main reason why I was doing this video was because this young black woman is pretty much fracked it up for everybody. Because she's pretending to be somebody else who actually has a nursing degree. And to all the people who do this, why are you insisting on messing up somebody else's life when they put this hard work into it? I'm trying to get my acting career off the ground, but I'm not going to use that skill to hustle other people and hurt them. Where people can literally be killed by these booty butt injecting people who are not professionals. And this lady was using someone else's name as her own name, so she's under arrest for identity theft, and she's impersonating a registered nurse, which she is not. So if you're my friend on Facebook, you can find it. But if you're not, I don't know. The lady had like this really unique, like 13-letter first name, like Quanisha Kwawat. It was a really ethnic name. And if she was kin to me and she had to go to the hospital and they tried to get me to spell her name, well, I have one phrase for you. Her ass be dead. Because I couldn't spell her name and I can't find the damn thing now. But, I thought I'd point that out. Did you know you can't go around doing shit like this because somebody is going to fucking get hurt or killed, and you ruin it for other people of color when you do this kind of thing. So that being said, it also came to me on way at Top Buzz, so you may be able to find it on topbuzz.com. I'm scrolling through here and I can't find it. I found everything but what I'm looking for. This thing about the professor trying to beat a coworker to death has popped up like 3 times. So, I should probably scroll back up and get that. Yeah, that seems like a racist stereotype. Why do Chinese people always drink hot water? Well, I like hot tea, but I'm not Chinese. So yeah, let me scroll back up there. No offense to anybody Chinese that I just offended with that. That's just what this thing said on this phone. I have no idea why it would obviously point out why do Chinese people drink hot water. That's just like really racist. So yeah, I feel kind of bad that I even read that out loud. If I find it again, I'll surely show it. Maybe if I go back down, I can find it. It's one thing I hate about technology. If you don't like click on something the second that you see it, then it's gone. No. I mean, it's there, but it's not there, and you have to hunt really hard for it. No. But yeah, so the young lady, she just was impersonating a nurse. So if I go to the Asian professor, okay, well, here's like the 3rd time, so let me just go ahead and get that. Okay, Mount Hope professor. I didn't say that right. Mount Holyoke art professor tries to gouge out the eyes of a woman she loved, says the cops. All right, so this is a good one, and I'm gonna have to spell out her name. Her first name is Ray, or Rye, R-I-E. And just I believe this woman is Japanese because his name looks Japanese to me. It looks like Hachiyangi. I'm pretty sure I said that wrong. She's 48. So here's how you spell her name: Hachiyangai. 48-year-old art professor, performing artist, was arraigned on Friday for allegedly attacking a Christmas Eve morning on a female professor in her 60s she had fallen in love with, but had apparently did not share the sentiment. Mount Holyoke College professor. Why does it do that? Unnamed faculty member who was usually tricked to stop and attack, yelling, and returned to her anonymous feelings and records of court document. The victim suffered from multiple broken bones in her nose and eye area, numerous lacerations and puncture wounds on the face. Yeah, that's really showing them you love them, lady. According to the police report, State Trooper Geraldine L. Good God Almighty. I do not know how to say this. Bresnahan presented in the court hearings. The investigators, Miss H, called 911 at midnight on December 24th, to report another professor was lying in a pool of blood, barely breathing inside the victim's home in Levert, Mass. So I guess that's in Massachusetts. She explained to the officers that her own bloody drenched clothes was from helping, not hurting the victim, who was in front of the investigators confirming the story. But when the victim was in the ambulance on the route to the hospital, she told that Professor H was actually the attacker, and the police immediately took her into custody, according to the Daily Hampshire Gazette. The victim had explained to the investigators that Miss H showed up at her home invited late the 23rd to talk to her about her feelings, telling the victim that she loved her more for many years and assuming that she was aware of her feelings. When the victim explained that the feelings were not mutual, Miss H allegedly started attacking her with what she could reach: delicate rocks in the fireplace, the poker, and a garden shears. Good Lord, this lady was out for vengeance. The victim had tried to calm Miss H down by telling her that she could reconsider, and indeed she did feel something. Convinced that there was hope for what she thought was unrequited love, Miss H reportedly stopped the attack, and the two women hatched a plan to tell the police that someone else had carried out a brutal beating, according to the Northern District Attorney. Mrs. H then told the police that she had a history of confessions and memory loss, and thus did not remember doing anything after 6 p.m. on the 23rd. Good God. They say they found the victim's keys, glasses, and mobile phone in her possession when they arrested her. Mrs. H now faces charges of armed assault, attempted murder, and a person over the age of 60. 3 accounts of assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, mayhem, and armed assault in a dwelling. She denies the wrongdoing. I'm going to show you this beautiful lady who's 48. She's not a bad-looking woman. No. But, I mean, no matter how many times I get rejected, that is not something that has crossed my mind. You know, I've never honestly thought about putting my hands on someone who hurt my heart. I may want to push them out of the window in my head, but I would never actually do it. You know, because no matter what somebody does, you can always walk away. You have a better future planned for you in that case. So I'm going to do another one because this one's like from Charlottesville, and I'm here in Charlottesville. It's my hometown. So this one is about racism. Why you may well be a racist even though you don't feel like one. So there's the picture. There's an exclusive racism in the United States, looking no further than the neo-Nazis, white supremacists, KKK members, and other garden variety facets gathered in Charlottesville, Virginia to unite the Right Committee Terrorists of Violence. Yeah, that was a night we'll never forget. But perhaps even more disgusting, distrusting, then the explicit racism is the response to it. From the weasel word statement by the president, anti-violence, and many of them claimed to find people among the facets. Yeah, that was an equivalency to transit support, too many prompt pastors and Christian rights, the silence of all many other. This is a word I can't pronounce. Pervasiveness of racism was finally too great and otherwise well meaning white people to ignore. Unfortunately, the lesson learned from Charlottesville by too many is that racism is something anyone can be can spot because we're wearing the Confederate flag, which I don't think the Confederate flag is racist, but I got nothing to do with that. Um, Swastikas, and since most people don't have those accessories there in their closet, they figure they're on the side of the angels when it comes to racism. But here's the thing, racism isn't just people intending other people harm because of the color of their skin. It's not just a march on tiki torches and assault rifles. Racism, tolerance, there's some parentheses, a system of routine disadvantages people because of their race. In other words, it is entirely possible to be a racist without intending to be. That's why we so often encounter racist statements that begin with "I'm not a racist," but which then goes on to be used as racist. Peace placeholders like thugs, inner city, and you people, or you people, and I take most people at their word that they don't consider themselves racist. But whether you feel like a racist largely besides the point. If you prop up your system either actively or passively through the silence in which regularly naive impacts non-white people, you're a racist. Period. I don't know what period one means. I'm just going with what this damn thing says. You don't belong to the KKK or support the Confederate flag license plate or have a swastika prison tattoo on your forehead or call people appealing epicities while offering Nazi salutes and the steps in the right direction. That you have a friend of a different race is liable. Good God, this is a long ass thing. Did you like Martin Luther King and you have soft spot in your heart for the I Have a Dream speech? It's a wonderful thing. But none of those things get you off the hook because you can do all these things and still excuse the system for repeatedly refusing to hold white politicians and white police officers and white business owners accountable for the businesses and sometimes killings of people of color. Because you can talk all you want about being colorblind, but don't please the serious, just don't. Whew, while still unconsciously assuming that middle class whites live in the standards are against, oh God, which all others are able to measure up by. Because you feel sympathy in your heart for Fidel Castro and Eric Gardner and Michael Brown and Trayvon Tamir, what the fuck is that? Um, and Tamir Rice. I have no idea who that is. Trayvon Martin and their families, but still assume that if they were killed, then the bulk of the blame must lay on them, since they obviously questioned the elements in which the characters sense they should have questioned the treatment at the hands of someone with a gun, who was, or claimed to be, in a position of authority, since maybe they should have been where they were licking and menacing their hoodies and the Skittles. I don't know what that has to do with anything. And scary giant bodies. Because you can talk about however everyone gets the same fair shake in the political society, which you still give benefits of the doubt to a system of infractions and African Americans 6 times the rate of white systems where African Americans and Hispanic comprise of 60% of the prison population, while the conspiracy of 25% of the total population, a system in 3 or more likely to arrest an African American person than a white person, and whereas estimates suggest that 2 African American people per week are gunned down by white police officers. I wish I didn't find this article, because I don't read like this. I don't like this much damn reading. Whew. Feeling strongly that you are not a racist isn't enough. Avoiding using overtly racist stereotypes and epithets. I'm sure I'm not saying that right, so let me spell that for you. Epithets isn't enough. I have no idea what that word is. That's why I said epithets. I'm sure I said it wrong. Not being prejudiced isn't enough. Whether you are not intending or practical effects of the system over time continuously disadvantage one race to benefit another race. It is a system in which you think that obviously weighted to keep charge in charge and fair, and any fault can be always traced to the poor choices made by individuals, whether you feel like it or not. You're a racist. God, this thing isn't over? Okay, I'm getting to the bottom of it, so we're almost over. Now, me calling you a racist under this description of racism isn't value judgment about you personally. It merely observation of the criteria necessary to establish racism events. And otherwise nice folks, as Christians or not in parentheses, are up there and they eyeballing it. Okay, I think we got like 2 paragraphs left to go. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I should not have found this damn thing. Should have just kept with the Asian woman beating the other woman to death. But here's the thing that keeps occurring to me. Why is it that I can barely read the damn thing? If you can find your community, continually defending yourself on the president from changes of racism, maybe you who need to be re-examining yourself to the race. And not a demonically. You know what? I'm going to spell that shit for you. DEMONSTRABLY. Disproportionately disadvantaged group of people who need to continuously re-examine their relationships to you. Look, I take no pleasure in pointing this out, since this means I am also having to continue my own grievances completely in racist system. Okay, thank God that's over. I apologize profusely for this long ass video about racism. Thank you guys very much. I actually was going to make a video about racism separate to this, but this kind of might solve that problem. Again, thank you guys very much. It's like 18 minutes, 2 in 1.